Welcome back to the Seaboard Central, everyone. This is it so far, merely a track plan, and a concept track plan at that. So today's video, I'm going to go about how I came up with this track plan and give you a little bit of the starting of what I'm coming up with for the new version of the Seaboard Central. So let's get into the track plan itself. We're going to zoom in here to this first part, which represents Gadsden, Alabama. And here you see some stub-ended tracks. I know a lot of people will say, oh, that's not a good idea to have stub-ended tracks. But actually, the real yard in Gadsden, Alabama has stub-ended yard tracks. And this is the best way I could fit these in. And you'll see the tracks actually curve around and they'll go underneath the layout here and to a staging yard. And this staging yard will fit underneath this section and come out right here. So this staging yard will actually have 5 tracks where I can store the longer trains. And in this yard, I can sort cars out using the stub-ended tracks. And here's where the engine terminal will be from the old layout. And here's where the ethanol facility will be. I also have room on this track right here to possibly add another industry, which may load out tank cars of used cooking oil to make biodiesel. I'm considering that. So as the trains are built in the yard, and you'll notice there's not much of a switching lead, and somebody else may say, hey, you need a switching lead to switch this big yard out. But actually, the Seaboard Central, we don't run a lot of mainline trains. So in between the times when the mainline trains are running, we're going to use this main track as the switching lead. If a mainline train shows up, yard master will just have the yard job getting the clear, just like they would on a real railroad. So as the trains are built and they leave the yard, they can go up a helix. They'll make a number of turns at a 32-inch radius curve and come out here. So this part of the layout is set at 44 inches high. It'll come out at 54 inches high. There will be a scrap metal place here. We can get a couple of guns loaded with scrap, like the old Blaze Metals and Recycling on the old layout. And here you'll see where the former Argos Cement Company was from the old layout. Here you'll see some old warehouses where there used to be a track that served them, and now they'll just serve, you'll see the back side of the buildings. There's a storage track here off the siding. Back here will be a place that receives feed hoppers for just a feed customer. Southern States is what that's going to be. Over here is another industry, Dixie Converting. It gets boxcars, and unlike the real facility in Carrollton, Georgia, this one actually we're going to get covered hoppers as well. So instead of Griffin, I'm modeling this section will be modeling Carrollton, Georgia. And we're going to have one storage track here that we can use to store cars. Here's a couple of team tracks where the locomotives and some extra cars will be stored. And then this track right here, going to make a new industry, U.S. Biofuels, that converts the used oil into biodiesel. The track will snake around here, and actually we'll go down some through the curves, through these little small town buildings. You'll see a gigantic parking lot for Southwire here. And this will be a huge building for Southwire. And this is where the plastic pellet cars will be spotted. Go over a little creek here, and there's a place to spot tank cars. This is all one huge facility for Southwire. Then here's where the box cars will be spotted. As you come around this way, there's a Noonan transload that receives center beams, flat cars. Around here is William J. Bonnell Company that receives a boxcar or two. And we're going into Noonan, Georgia. And I did a little proto freelancing here. I'm going to cross a large bridge over the Chattahoochee River. And then Wahoo Creek. And this whole section here, we're dropping down grade. So this whole section around this peninsula will be going down grade. You see I've got this set at 48 inches. It levels out a little here in Noonan, downtown Noonan. You have a little runaround track. And they got a spur track that will store plastic pellet cars for wind pack film. And then we'll drop down and go back into the lower level staging yard. So that's the track plan for the new Seaboard Central. I'm going to start building the layout here in this section first, because I want to complete this room, the main room first. I want to complete that. So I at least want to get some trains running, so this will be easy to do. I'm going to start building this out and going to the helix before I start on this part. And I'll just end up just working my way around this whole area before I come back to this point. So this part right here will be completed last, and I don't know when I'll get to it, but I really want to have some beautiful scenery through here. So that's one thing I wanted to do, is my skill levels improve. They come across the layout. When I get to this point, I really want things to be looking really nice. So we'll start here. It'll be pretty basic. We'll try to make these tracks as long as we possibly can. Even though they'll be pretty short, I still think this train layout is going to pack a lot of operation, and it'll probably easily keep 4 to 6 operators busy for at least 3 hours during an operating session. So here's the basement. I've got a lot of work to do to the basement, but this is going to be my workshop area. And right across from the workshop area is going to be where that yard that I'm going to start the layout will be. And it will go in this room over here, where you see remains of the old layout being stored right now, but this is where the helix will be. And it'll curve around. I'm going to try to widen this doorway so it won't be such a pinch point here. And this is, you can see the rest of the remains of the layout, and this being stored in the center room. I want to finish the floor, finish the walls and the ceiling of this room. And this is where Carrollton will be. And then it'll snake around and go into this room over here where Noonan will be. And you can see boxes of rolling stock and everything else for the layout in this room. So I've got a lot of work to do, but this will be a fun project to start on, and I can't wait to get trains up and running again. So I appreciate everybody following along with me. And if you're not already a subscriber, I invite you to subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with the new version of the Seaboard Central. And then next time, hopefully the next video I upload, you'll see more progress. So until then, stay safe, and thanks for watching, everyone.